Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of Tech Talk, your go-to source for all things tech. I'm your host, Chris, and I'm thrilled to be guiding you through today's exploration of the ever-evolving world of technology. Joining me on this journey, as always, is none other than the tech aficionado extraordinaire, Christian Tejeres, whose passion for innovation and expertise in all things tech never fails to impress. So strap in and get ready for an exhilarating ride through the latest trends, innovations, and discoveries in the tech universe. But today we're focused more on Amazon. Christian, how's it going?
Yeah, doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, so it looks like Amazon maybe stepped in it over in Poland. Um,
Stepped on what?
stepped in it. As in scrape your shoes off, Jeff Bezos. You have a $7.8 million problem. So coming from John Lopez, who's one of our premier reporters over at Tech Times. Yeah, this story says, Amazon has been fined, as I said, $7.8 million by Poland's consumer watchdog. And parentheses, apologies to the Polish. I'm sure I'm not going to say this correctly. Uh, UOKiK is the consumer watchdog over there. And so they sued Amazon for allegedly misleading customers about product availability and delivery dates. Now, there have been reports that the fine comes after complaints from consumers reported not receiving their orders prompted this investigation. And according to UOKiK, Amazon sales practices have been under scrutiny since September of 2021, which is quite a while. We're looking at about 2.5 years. And they found that Amazon may have misled consumers about the conclusion of sales contracts, as well as used deceptive design elements to create a false sense of urgency during the purchasing process. Specifically, Amazon's treatment of the moment of purchase and its communication regarding product availability and delivery windows were highlighted as areas of concern. UOKiK noted that while Amazon guarantees delivery, it failed to provide consumers with clear information about the rules of this service before placing an order. So, Christian, what do you think about people getting pissed off because Amazon's not delivering like they said they would?
No, how delayed are we talking about here? Like, I don't even know what is their definition of how long should I receive my package. Because usually in my country, people are already pissed off if they don't receive it within 48 hours.
Well, there is a press release here. Uh, right regarding the delivery guarantee. Well, I mean, I think we all know it's not maybe the length of time, but the fact that whatever Amazon promised wasn't met. So,
Yeah.
3-day delivery, it shows up in 4 days. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's
And I guess they have issues with regards to false advertising, whether a product is actually available. Like, this is something that's not unique to them. I guess if you're
hmm,
going to be doing international shipping, inventory is actually not that instant in some cases. Like,
right.
people would have to rummage through warehouses. If you know where all those warehouses are, some of them are not within Poland. Some of them are within other countries, like in China, in Korea, in Vietnam, particularly
Yeah.
those that are coming from production lines.
Well, I
Like,
mean, I think like do you remember the lawsuit against Red Bull because Red Bull's slogan was it gives you wings, and then the guy was like, "No, it don't." And then he sued Red Bull, and I think he won. But I feel like this is kind of the same thing. Like whenever I'm on Amazon or any e-commerce site and it says, last two remaining, I always consider that as marketing. I never believe it. Last two, two left in stock. I don't believe that shit.
yeah, the entire idea of actually adding 99 cents to everything is actually a marketing ploy where it sounds
Hmm,
like you're saving money just because it's 99 cents. It's much cheaper than
right.
what you actually think. So I think in a sense that is. in a way the same. But regarding the Red Bull thing, like, should we be tagging things like it's just a metaphor? Please don't believe it in every product.
I mean, you have to, right? That's the reason,
If
there's things on batteries, car batteries like don't drink the fluids. Like there's people that do this. Or, like UO-Kick. I'm not familiar with this watchdog. I mean, I think it's good maybe that they're taking the time to bring attention to this, but
Okay, I'm gonna take what I said back because I kind of remember that we as a society also need a reminder that coffee is hot. So
that's when I think it was McDonald's got sued by a woman because their coffee
yeah,
was too hot. It's coffee. Like, if it's too hot, just wait a minute. It'll be the right temperature. Like, it's crazy. It's insane the things
it's
that
insane to us, I guess, but by the definition of law, if you're not actually that's you really need to be pretty specific for these bunch of people.
right. And I guess maybe this also kind of applies to Amazon, like their system, right? Because yeah, maybe same day delivery or next day delivery is available in New York, right? Where you have couriers all over the place, that there's a warehouse there. Or I don't know if there's one in New York, but you know what I'm saying, like in places. Poland, like that's almost physically impossible if you don't have something standing by really close. Like things can only move so fast.
I don't even know if they're the same model as FedEx. Like FedEx has their own model when it comes to shipping, when it comes to their couriers and how they do stuff.
Right.
Sometimes you get your FedEx within 24 hours, even if it's from the other side of the world. So it all comes down to their distribution line, I guess. And it will also fall on which store the item is actually going to be coming from.
Yeah, right. It's I feel like the Amazon model is easily followed in, a more of a central hub place, right? Whether it be Asia or, the US with all
I
the
guess pretty much the format that FedEx actually innovated.
yeah. But I mean, so and Amazon, that's kind of like the Amazon Prime thing, like next day delivery or same day delivery. Those are huge marketing ploys for Amazon. But then you get somewhere that's, at the top of the map, right? Like Poland. Sorry, guys, it's just maybe not possible to deliver, this homemade or this handmade shirt from Hawaii to Poland in one day. Like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, like I think in my country, like I said, 2 days, 48 hours if we don't receive our packages here. A lot of people are already pissed off
Oh, I get so pissed. I get
and
so
keep
pissed.
asking the seller whether it's gonna be coming when it actually is mentioned that the item is pre-ordered. So
Well, I mean, even when it's not pre-ordered, I've had this issue before here, where the I blame it on the delivery drivers and the delivery system or the delivery company, whether it be like a J&T Express or whoever.
yeah, in the
If it's
Philippines, that's
raining,
valid. That's valid, I think, here in the Philippines because we have, although an example of similar services to Amazon here is Shopee or Lazada.
mm,
Sometimes they have their own couriers, like they have in-house one, but sometimes they employ third-party delivery services, and the time and quality of those delivery services actually vary for each one. I think in the case of Amazon, it's their couriers that are actually doing this.
right.
It's they're just in-house ones and not actually a third party. So I can understand where the lawsuit is coming from, like where
Mhm.
the responsibility actually falls. But the thing that caught me the most is the fact that this issue was back in 2021 already existing. Isn't this the tail end of the pandemic?
Uh, Not the tail end. I think it's right in there, ain't it?
Right? So I think people can pretty much expect delays during those times. if it persists now, I think it's just maybe because of issues with regards to adjustment of protocols after the pandemic happened. Like there was a report actually back then that Amazon lost a lot of money back in 2021, and they had a loss for that year when it comes to their international businesses, their international branches. So maybe
I
this
think,
is just an offset of that.
yeah, another problem that they have is they call it dark dark pattern design, where
Can you
you
explain to the
use
audiences?
like a white font on a gray background.
A white font on a gray background.
So it's there, but it's as close to being as invisible as you can be without actually being invisible. And they would use it for things like, do you want this? Or opt in. Um, for example, here I see and maybe we can flash this on the screen.
Yeah.
You do the opt in, check marks, right? Check boxes, click boxes or whatever.
Yeah.
Opt in, don't opt out, or don't not opt in. And then down below, gray, in a very difficult to see if you're not really paying attention, it says opt out of all, right? So it kind of hides the the least desirable option for Amazon. Amazon's least desirable option. Like, no, I don't want insurance, right? No insurance maybe would be very difficult to see, although it's there and clickable.
Hmm. That is interesting.
That is by design misleading and deceptive. Delivery times, whatever. It's hard. Weather sucks. You're super far away. Your shit's not available. There's a million different reasons for your delayed to be, or for your delivery to be delayed. But for things like this on site, dark pattern design is obviously intentional and incredibly deceptive.
Yeah, and I think in a sense, I think they're not the only ones that are going to be employing this, right? There, if we place enough time to actually look, we can find this on other brands, right, that offer the same thing. This could
Right.
be like the terms of services of Apple, in a sense. It could be completely in a gray area.
Yeah. I just sent over that thing. I don't know if you
Yeah,
can see it. Yeah.
yeah, it
Like,
is.
right. You can see it at the bottom. But if you really look, you can see it. And
Like,
that definitely deserves to be addressed, and Amazon should not be doing that.
yeah, it does seem pretty scummy once you get a grasp on what they're doing,
Yeah.
right? But for an innocent consumer, pretty much they would ignore this.
Yeah. I mean, you would never see it. It's like, oh shit, there's three options. But there's not. There's actually four options. They're just hiding the one that they
Ooh.
don't want you to choose. Or attempting to maybe not even hide, camouflage, right? Like it's there.
Yeah.
It's just hard to see. So
This
yeah,
is some covert. This is some covert stuff for them.
yeah, it's crazy, right? And I'm sure um I'm sure there's some information out there. What's it called? Dark pattern design. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Um,
What's the main competitor of Amazon, by the way, in the US? Trying to think of one.
that's the thing. They don't really have one. That's why they're also, yeah, they're kind of I
Like
mean, what you got, like,
internationally, they have a couple,
yeah,
but not
internationally,
necessarily
yes.
trusted ones. Like if we try to go by the trust factor, they're still number one. Like Temu still exists, Wish exists, right? There's Alibaba.
There's a bunch. Yeah, I think here, I mean, there's you got like Lazada. You have a few, and then yeah, Alibaba in China. I think
Shein
Rakuten.
for clothing. Like
Yeah, there's a lot,
at
but
least
in the
at least
U,
Shein is actually pretty specific and has its own niche.
yeah,
Amazon pretty much have everything.
yeah, and I don't think. I mean, the next closest competitor to Amazon would probably be shopping online at Walmart,
And I
but
guess in a
that's
sense,
Walmart though.
eBay, right? eBay.
Yeah, but
Still
does
buy
anybody
from eBay?
use eBay? I haven't looked at eBay in years.
It's like looking for something on Craigslist in this time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is very Craigslist at this point. Uh,
So yeah, 7.8 million for this kind of company that already reached a trillion is just a drop in the bucket.
yeah, but I seen it's whatever the currency is, and again, to the Polish, I apologize. I don't know this currency.
Sosky?
Your guess is as good as mine. It's 31 million. So that's not a
Oh,
drop in the bucket for the
Slotsky. Slotis. I'm sorry for
Slotsky's Deli.
Polish
That's a
friends.
that's
Slotis. Slotsky. I was thinking of food.
yeah, Slotsky's Deli. Yeah. But I mean that's not a drop in the bucket, right? 31 million. It goes a long way for this, you know.
Yeah, for
But
the Amazon stuff.
but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but you have a good point though. It's not much, and Amazon will just probably shake it off, make a few changes, and keep pushing.
In all honesty, based on this article, what actually is more interesting to me is they're actually firing people. There is actually an Amazon layoff in its advertising unit, which goes to show that they probably think they shouldn't be advertising anymore since everyone actually knows them by now.
Right.
So I don't think they see much of an issue with this one.
Well, they want to appeal.
Yeah, but international market, I pretty much think isn't their major target. I think it's still in the US, strictly in the US.
Well, there is a quote here from the company's Polish office, Amazon's Polish office, says, and I quote, since launching Amazon.pl in 2021, we have continuously invested and worked hard to provide customers with a clear, reliable delivery promise at checkout. And while the vast majority of our deliveries arrive on time, customers can contact us in the rare event that they experience a delay or order cancellation, and we will make it right. So they've addressed it, but it says it was launched in 2021 and they've been under scrutiny since September of 2021. It sounds like as soon as it launched, UOKick was at their throat.
Or maybe just hyper conscious of their
Yeah.
existence, right?
Well, it took, I mean, you imagine if it launched in the first quarter, it took 6 months for them to be like, hold up, something's not right. And then build their case for 2 years. But I mean,
Uh,
consumer watchdogs are great. That's what keeps
yeah,
people honest.
it is good. And if you're a brand that's actually entering a new country, you're gonna pretty much expect that you're gonna be turbo fucked
Mm,
when an issue actually arises. The first one, that's gonna be the biggest one for you,
yeah,
and it's gonna be hard for you to at least tread water after that, right?
right.
Your name's gonna be out there.
Yeah. But I mean, for a company like Amazon, I think they've reached the point where like there's no such thing as bad press because like nobody really. I mean, who you gonna order from if not Amazon, right? Like in places
I mean,
where Amazon is, you know,
yeah,
so you just get their names out there. It's like, oh, they've been sued. You know what that tells me?
yeah,
That their service that I've already used probably is just going to get better.
yeah. Hopefully they do. Like, I'm much more interested in the issues with Amazon in the US. Like, aside from the normal workforce issues that have been going on for a couple of years now, everyone knows that. But in terms of their service, I haven't heard that much regards to it. Like you have your own WOKIP there in the US, right? So what is their concern with Amazon in a sense when it comes to services,
Right.
when it comes to sketchy tactics when it comes to their marketing and how they gain employees? Like I think that's one to look at for them.
Hmm.
It's a much
Yeah.
bigger market in the US. They're much prevalent there, but in Poland, I guess a Polish company can actually just right?
Yeah.
Pick up the slack in this case. Like once they hear that Amazon is having issues, if I were a startup, it would probably be the perfect time now. If I could provide much better service, this would be an in for me.
Yeah, but I mean, can you provide better service than Amazon? Like this is not easy what they're doing
Just
already
internally, if it's gonna be just within the country,
within
if it's
Poland.
just gonna be within the needs, like
Yeah, I mean,
there
well,
is a
there's always,
possibility.
yeah, there's always a chance for, disruptive tech. I mean, that's what tech is, right? It's disrupt. The best technology is disruptive. It changes our perception, just like Amazon changed how we shop, right? We don't before, if you wanted anything, you'd have to go to a physical brick and mortar store. Well, they disrupted that entire thing. Now you just order it. Uber disrupted how we eat out. Now eating out is actually eating in.
And I think it's also based on the culture of the country that they're actually they're actually invading. Like
Right. Yeah.
here in our country, we also have similar things like Amazon, but brick and mortar shops still exists. That's because the culture of the people here are actually the malling culture where they want to go out, just hang out in the malls,
Yeah.
hang out in some places other than their house. The people don't want to be stuck there. When I was more thinking in the line, and after the pandemic, things would really pick up because people would want to go outside, but it
Mm.
turns out to be otherwise. Like people got used to the fact that they're just gonna be waiting for things to be delivered to them.
Yeah.
Same thing can be said with food, right?
I agree completely. I had that same thought. Like after this, man, I'm gonna go out and enjoy life, and ain't much really changed. Like I still order a lot of stuff. It's just
Yeah.
convenience. Like, and not to mention, it's what about 90 degrees today. I'm not going out there. If I
Yeah.
don't have to.
My final thought on this is it's not gonna hurt them that much.
Hmm.
And but I hope they actually improve their services there in Poland. Like we don't have Amazon here in my country, but in a sense, I would want them to be doing good by us when
Right.
they actually build a branch here. So I can understand why the consumer watchdog is actually dogging
Mhm.
them, no pun intended, from the start. Because that's their job.
Right.
At least they're doing what that institution was built for. So kudos to them.
Yep. All right. And that wraps it up for today's edition of Tech Times Daily. Again, tune in tomorrow for more cutting edge updates and insightful discussions. And until then, stay curious, stay connected. For Christian Tejedis, I'm Chris Short. See you next time.